Hey YouTube. Well, y'all probably tired of me complaining about the weather, but gee Manise, what a winter this has been. It's just been it's been bad cold. The water's still bad cold. Between the wind and the rain, we got our super low winter tides, and the days that the wind wasn't blowing really hard, it was so foggy you couldn't see to get out. So I haven't had a chance to get on the water in about a week. But anyway, a lot of y'all noticed I had some new fishing equipment, and I've got some questions about the new reels and wanting me to do reviews and all that stuff. And in my opinion, you can't do a review on a reel until you've had it for like a year. And but you can do your initial impressions, which that's what I'm going to do today on these two reels I have. The Daiwas, the Tatulas that are almost 3 years old now, that I fished with. I did an initial impression of them, and then after a year I did a review on them. And I got to tell you, there's nothing I can say bad about those reels. For somebody that fishes as much as I do, which is a lot, and fishing for redfish, which anybody that's familiar with redfish know that redfish are pretty hard on tackle, especially gears in reels. And the Tatulas, no failures, no faults. But for me, if I get 3 years out of a reel, that's a pretty good deal, because what happens is the bull gear and the pinion gear start to wear. And even though the reel still functions and everything, you start to get a little looseness, and you start getting a vibration and a whirring. And when that happens, you know, it's, in my opinion, I'm ready to do something else, get another reel. And fishing reels are they're like computers. I mean, every year they get more improvements. And if you've got a 3-year-old reel, the ones now are improved. So, and I'm a little bit of a tackle junkie. I mean, I fished Shimano for years, and kind of had a bad experience with those. So I got off of those. I went to the Daiwas, and the Daiwas are great. Like I said, I hadn't any problems with them. But compared to the new reels now, these Daiwas are pretty big and heavy. So I'm always looking for lighter and easier to handle. And because when you lure fish, I mean, those Daiwas, I'd give anything to know how many casts I've made with those things in 3 years. It's got to be a huge number. But anyway, I decided to try some new equipment, and that's what y'all been asking about. And one of them was the 13 Fishing Concept Z, with the no ball bearings and all the hype and everything. And I looked at a lot of videos on YouTube before I invested in one. And I'm not sponsored by anybody. Zero, zilch, nothing. I don't get paid by anybody to do anything. This shirt right here I got for $5 with an order from Tackle Warehouse. So it was a bargain. And anyway, I like Tackle Warehouse anyway. I've had real good luck with their service and everything. But like I said, no sponsors. You know, all this comes out of my pocket. And most of the videos that I saw on these reels were just were guys, and eventually they would own up to the fact that they were sponsored by 13 Fishing. Some of them said affiliated, and which is the same thing. But anyway, let's go over this one. What my initial impressions of this one is. When I first, I've had it out like twice, and the first time, you know, it casted good, it was smooth, didn't make any noise, and but I did see one video where this guy was casting one of these, and he was just trashing the reel from beginning to end, but come to find out later, after doing a little research, he was sponsored by Shimano, so it's no surprise that, you know, that he gave a really, really bad review. But he was casting it, and he was holding it up to the microphone of the camera, and it was making this noise, just kind of screeching, and I don't know what you want to call it. Excuse me. But anyway, it was making a bad noise. And, you know, I watched that video, and I'd already had this one out. And I thought, man, that guy got a bad reel. There's something really bad there. Well, come the second trip out with this, I started casting, and I started hearing a little noise, and then as the morning went on, I cast more and more. They started getting louder and louder and louder, and pretty soon it was sounding like the reel in that guy's video. So anyway, I went home, opened it up, and I oiled those bushings with the same oil that I use on bearings, a super light oil. And as soon as I did that, the noise went away. So I'm not sure exactly. I read somewhere that these things didn't need to be lubed, but I can tell you right now that's not the case. Unless you want to hear that weird noise, you're going to have to keep a little oil on these polymer bushings that they put in these things. The other thing was, and I'm not real crazy about on this reel, is there's a slack. There's a slack in the handle. I mean, it's not massive, but it's just something I'm not used to. And you can kind of feel it, even though it's pretty smooth reeling and everything. There's some movement in there that that I'm just not used to. Most reels you don't have that. It's like a tolerance thing or something. But other than that, and like I said, you can't. This reel may last forever. Who knows? But you can't really call it good or bad, you know, right out of the box after using it only a couple of times. So that's the only two things I've found so far is this slack in the handle, which I'm really not too crazy about, and then that whirring noise when these bushings start to get dry. The braking system and everything, I like the way it works. I like the fact that this door is connected, so you don't have to worry about dropping it. And everybody, most of those guys, like I said, most were sponsored by but they were touting the distance that these things throw. It's, you know, saying it was phenomenal and outcast everything. I didn't find that to be the case. In fact, I'm not so sure that the other reel I'm fixing to show you didn't cast further, but either way, it wasn't anything significant. But I can tell you from my experience that these don't cast any further than a conventional reel. In fact, one of my subscribers is one that suggested this reel, and I'm sorry I don't remember his name right now, but he said he had both of them, said he liked both of them, but but he was really impressed with this other reel. So let's take a look at it. Oh, one more thing too. I'm sorry, my allergies are acting up this morning. They tout this coating as like an armor coating, and I had this thing leaning on my tackle box, which was like this far off the ground, and I went to grab it, and I bumped it, and it just dropped from the tackle box to the ground, and it already has two little places where it had two little nicks where this paint came off, which surprised me. I don't know if it's just real thin or if it just landed on some, I don't know, sharp. But anyway, I've got a couple little spots where the paint is chipped on this thing. Just barely. Oh man, I'm sorry. Anyway, the other reel is this Lew's Custom Inshore. And these things are hard to come by. I got lucky and stumbled across one, but most of them are on back order. And the thing about these reels versus the Daiwas that are 3 years old is the size. Both these reels, they're tiny. They hold a lot of line, and they fit good in your hand. But man, they're just, every year they get a little lighter and a little smaller, which is good. I mean, that's great for lure fishermen, because you can throw them pretty much all day with without getting fatigued. But after fishing and casting these two, I grabbed one of my Daiwas, and it felt like I had an offshore reel in my hand. And the Daiwa CT now, I'm still using it because it's not 3 years old. I got it later, and it's a smaller frame than the regular Daiwa tattooless that I had. But this thing is this thing's pretty sweet in my opinion. I haven't found it casts good once you get it dialed in. I like the way the braking system's set up on it. I really like the handles. These wind grips that they put on these customs are, man, they feel good in your hand. And this thing casts every bit as far as the Z, if not a little bit further. I didn't actually measure them out, but I've got a pretty good eye for how far things fly when I throw them, and I know this throws as far, if not a little further. Everything on this reel is solid. There's absolutely no slack. Like I talked about on the Z, and this handle is solid as a rock. Nothing moves. Everything on it feels solid and smooth. It's got the seal ball bearing, so supposedly you don't have to worry about any corrosion and everything. And I am really, really liking this reel. Both these reels are $199, $200, and for $200, this feels like a $200 reel when you fish it. The Z, I can't really say that because of that slop in the handle and everything. In my opinion, would I buy another one of these for $200? Yes. Would I buy another Z for $200? I don't think so. And that's just me. That's just my opinion. And like I said, I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I don't get paid by anybody, so I got no reason to judge one over the other. Of all the things on this reel, there's one fault that I do not like, and I hope in the future Lew's does something about that. And that's the fact that when you want to get inside to do the brakes, this door comes completely off. And it's tiny, and it's not a lot to grab. And if you're out in a boat and your hands are wet or slimy from fish, and you need to make an adjustment, it'd be real easy for this thing to end up in the water. So Unlike the Z where you pop it open, it's got a bar, there's no way it's coming off of there. This thing can get away from you, so you got to be real careful when you get to make an adjustment, because this thing's not, it comes completely off, and I really don't like that. But other than that, they were both on the exact same rods. They were both had the exact same line, and I threw the same lure with them. And like I said, that's just my initial impression of them. Whether they hold up, that's yet to be seen. We'll find out, because I'm going to fish them from now on for a good while, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, like I said, I had a lot of questions about the new reels and requests to do reviews. And like I said, I can't really do a review because I hadn't had them long enough. But I will give you my initial impression, which is this. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and maybe that'll help somebody make a decision down the road. Thanks for watching.